Hey everybody, welcome back to the Gunner's Guru. I'm Craig and I am your guru. In this episode we will be showing you the disassembly and reassembly process of a Glock pistol. Join us now. Okay, welcome back. This is a Glock 9mm model 26, or known as the G26. I'm going to show you the disassembly and reassembly process for the Glock pistol. Every Glock pistol, the process is the same. The number one rule, always make sure the firearm is not loaded. The first step is to remove the magazine, pushing the magazine release right here. Remove the magazine, ensuring that it is empty, and then you will clear the chamber of the weapon. You'll do that by pulling on the slide to the rear. This is the slide. Grab the slide, pull it to the rear. If there was a round of ammunition chambered in the barrel, it would come out at that point. We can then, once we have ensured that the firearm is unloaded, this is the slide catch. We're going to pull the slide back, pushing up manually on the slide catch to lock the slide open. Pulling the slide back. Let me do it this way. Pulling the slide back, pushing up manually on the slide catch. That will lock the slide in the fully open position. You can examine the chamber, ensuring that it is indeed empty. To begin the disassembly process of the Glock pistol, again, ensuring the firearm is not loaded, magazine, no ammunition, away from the gun. We can release the slide forward by pushing down on the slide catch. We already know that the firearm is not loaded. There is no round of ammunition in the chamber. We'll simply take the firearm, point it in a safe direction, and pull the trigger. The trigger must be in this fully rearward position to disassemble the Glock pistol. Again, pulling the trigger on the empty chamber, ensuring that the trigger is in the fully rearward position. At this point, the way I do it, I find it to be the simplest. I take the gun and hold it in my hand as if I was going to be shooting. And then I wrap my fingers up to the slide. So from the shooting position, wrapping my fingers upward to the slide. The idea is to pull back on the slide about, and we look right here for reference, about 1/8 of an inch. Pulling back to that position. We hold in that position. There is a takedown lever right here on each side of the frame. We are going to pull down the takedown lever on each side. So grab that with your thumb and your finger, releasing the slide and pushing it forward off the frame. We then can pull it all the way off the frame. We have the firearm in now two major pieces: frame assembly and slide assembly. We'll set the frame aside for the moment. Now we have the slide, the recoil spring, and the barrel. They are all one integral unit when they are assembled. Now we're going to disassemble this. To remove the recoil spring and guide rod from the gun, we simply compress slightly and lift up on the back, and then pull free from the front of the slide. Recoil spring and guide rod. We'll set that aside. The barrel now is free. We simply can pull up slightly on the barrel and out from the slide. So we have slide, barrel, recoil spring, and frame, and then of course our empty magazine. That is the disassembly procedure for the Glock pistol. Welcome back to the Gunner's Guru. I'm Craig, your guru. We are going through the process of disassembling and reassembling a Glock pistol. In the first segment of the video, we disassembled the Glock 26 9mm pistol. In this section of the video, we will reassemble and then ensure that the firearm is operating correctly. So to reassemble, once again, we have our empty magazine, no ammunition in it. We're just going to set that aside for the moment. We have our frame assembly, which we'll just slide to the side just for a moment. We have, once again, our recoil, spring, and guide rod. We have our barrel, and we have our slide. So, working with the slide as if we're looking at the muzzle end of the gun. The muzzle end, the end that the barrel protrudes from and that the bullet exits the gun. I'm going to work this direction, looking at the muzzle end. Holding the slide upside down, this is the top, this is the bottom. So holding the slide upside down in my hand, I will pick up the barrel. Again, the barrel, this is directional, of course. This is the top of the barrel. You'll see, if you look closely, I'll try to get a shot of that, as the caliber stamping on it. That is the top of the barrel. So we're going to be looking at the bottom of the barrel. So we hold our slide upside down, the barrel upside down, the muzzle end of the barrel going into the muzzle end of the slide. There are two holes here. The barrel goes in the upper hole. If the slide is in the upright position, working with upside down, now it is the bottom hole. That is where the barrel goes in. Holding the barrel by the lugs, we are going to put the muzzle end of the barrel into the hole on the slide. Slides in, push back. We can hold it in place, turning over, ensuring indeed that it is flush as it should be. Turning it back over, looking closely, there is a half moon recess machined on the lug of the barrel. Look closely, you can see it right here. That is what the rear portion of the recoil spring and guide rod assembly is going to rest on. At the other end, on the muzzle end, there's a recess here, machined. I'll put my hand behind it for contrast. There's a recess machined in the slide for the front of the recoil spring and guide rod assembly to go into. So again, working with the slide upside down, take the front of the recoil guide. That goes into the recess on the slide, just like this. Now we will compress slightly, and this edge on the bottom will rest on the half moon recess that is machined into the barrel. So compressing slightly, that rests in that position, just like that. At this point, we are ready to reattach the slide assembly to the frame assembly. Very simple. Simply picking up our frame assembly. You can see the contact points for the slide rails here and here, front and rear. We're concerned about the front right now. We'll take the slide now in the upright position, or even working somewhat at say a 45-degree angle. We will align the grooves in the slide here and here with the slide rails on the frame. Let me try to pivot this so you can see. So here and here, both sides, lining them up, and slowly slide that on. Once you get to the rearward position, it's simply a matter of holding the gun, finger off the trigger, hold onto the slide, and reciprocate it to the rear. Now the gun is reassembled. You will notice that the trigger is in the forward or cocked position. so we can, to ensure that the firearm is operating correctly, simply hold the gun as if you were going to fire it, finger off the trigger, grabbing the slide, pulling it to the rear, obviously ensuring that the firearm is not loaded. We can then pointing the firearm in a safe direction and pull the trigger. That is how the Glock pistol reassembles. That completes our video of the disassembly and reassembly process of a Glock pistol. I greatly appreciate you joining me for this episode of the Gunner's Guru. Until next time, shoot straight and shoot straight for the center.